Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another installment in our Infinity Rift No Buff series. This is an experiment I've been trying the past couple of weeks to see if I can get through the Infinity Rifts without enhancing my team to any extent. And today, we will be covering the level 10 synergy trial of defeating Dr. Octopus. But this is one of those rifts that is locked behind an overworld rift that you need to interact with before you can fully take on the fight. So before we get into the fight itself, let's showcase where you need to go in order to unlock this one in particular. Again, I did a video on this subject, so if you want to know where all of these rift locations are, I will link that in the description below. But for this one, you'll need to find the Infinity Rift in the Zen Garden, and that is found after you have your conversation with Jessica Jones and she punches down the crane to create a land bridge into the temple. And from there, all you need to do is find your way to the bridge and keep going straight instead of turning left. Interact with the bridge or the rift that is on the opposite side of that bridge there, and that will unlock this trial. And once you have it, it's actually fairly straightforward. We talked a little bit in one of the previous installments about synergy damage, or ability damage rather, and this is one of those rifts that requires synergy damage in order to be completed, because standalone abilities will not be able to do anything for you. With this fight in particular, you'll need to focus on staying alive, not having any of your teammates incapacitated, which is fairly simple at this low of a rift, though some of the other ones that come later on down the road do get a little bit more difficult with that. And you'll also need to finish in 2 minutes and 15 seconds or faster. And you do have both phases of the Dr. Octopus fight. You have the control room phase and you have the elevator phase. The control room phase, the biggest thing you need to watch out for is his dash attack where he rockets across the field, especially because he's not really vulnerable during that stage. But as long as you are able to get away from him when he does start up those attacks, he is vulnerable for a decent time afterwards as he recuperates from that charge before winding up into another attack sequence or another ability of his. And that's a really good time to unleash synergy attacks, which you see that at least for the first half of that fight, I was focusing on using Black Panther. When you get into the second phase of the fight, he does transition over to the elevator area, and the elevator is an interesting spot, mainly because you have to deal damage to his arms in order to stagger him out in this phase. And in most of these fights, you do deal stagger damage independent of the other damage methods that you can deal to your opponents. However, because the arms themselves have health bars rather than stagger bars, it is required that you use some of your abilities in order to take out those arms, in order to stun him and get him down on the ground, where he is then vulnerable to follow-ups and attacks from that point. So in this type of a challenge where the abilities consume a lot more energy points than they otherwise would if you had them upgraded with a team member, that gets a little bit finicky, and you have to be mindful of what team members have available energy points to use their synergy attacks with. But as you saw there at the very end, you have increased damage from that, so that final ability that finally landed, or that synergy attack with Hulk and whoever he happened to synergize with, was able to make very quick and short work of Dr. Octopus. But that is really all we needed to go over for this particular challenge. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure that you leave a like on it. If you've made it this far into the video and you're not subscribed already, please go ahead and fix that. It's free, easy, and I bring variety content to your inbox every single day. If you have comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to leave those down below as well. And as always, thanks again for letting me take a moment of your time, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day.